Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Federal government, our economic policies yielding fruit. APC opposition throw brickbats over Mina and Kano protests. Nigerians spend $40 billion on foreign education and healthcare. Ladi Adebutu, others charged with money laundering. Kogi money not missing, state government tells EFCC. Government to release food items from reserves to crash prices. And Alake is Africa's mining minister's chair. Okay, which story are we starting with?
The major headline. So the federal government yesterday painted a positive picture of the days ahead, a positive economic picture. And they said the policies of Bola Tinubu as the president and his administration are yielding fruits. This was said by key members of the economic team, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, his budget and national planning counterpart, Atiku Bagudu, Central Bank of Nigeria, that's the CBN Governor, Layemi Kadoso, and Federal Inland Revenue Service Chairman, Mr. Zak Adedeji. They were the ones that said that there's an imminent drop in the high cost of living and inflation. And they said this when they appeared at the sectoral debate organized by the House of Representatives for the finance sector. This happened in Abuja. And he said that it was expected that we're supposed to have challenges with the withdrawal of subsidy. And if they had left it, it would have, led us to a path of economic disaster. So, but the president is committed to protecting the poorest and the vulnerable. And what they are planning to do now is to increase crude oil production, boost foreign exchange inflow. And he says where we are right now is better than where we were before the 29th of May, 2023, and before the implementation of the 8-point agenda of the president started, we're in a very unstable place in the economy. But now, at that time, we had expenditure that was wasteful and unsustainable by in a way of subsidy. But now, after the removal of subsidy, we have been able to save some money into the federal account. We have been able to reduce the amount of fuel that was being smuggled, petrol that was being smuggled, and wasteful use of petrol and other things that we just need to be a little more patient, and we'll see how it's going to begin to impact positively on Nigerians.
Okay.
So I have the government to release food items from the reserves to crash prices. So the federal government, on the request of the president, set up a committee headed by the chief of staff to the president and the national security advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. They convened a meeting on the request of the president to address this issue. So some women in Mina had carried out a protest protesting the high cost of foodstuff across the state. This, of course, the governor has said was alleged by sabotage staged by some cartel, are accused of mopping up foodstuff in order to hike prices. I can attest to that because this is usually the season rice prices drop, but the increase is outrageous. I can't even sell, so I'm just looking up my production for now, yes. And it's across the state, but the government has assured that they would respond by releasing food from our reserves to address this issue, because, of course, the Kano State governor had also gone to meet the president on the talking about the issue of hunger in his own state. But after the meeting, the information and national orientation minister said food will be released from our national reserve to crash prices across board. This will be a welcome initiative. Ramadan is just down the corner. People are trying to buy, and of course, that will make prices go up again. But if we have this intervention, we can also see it. And Nigerians should please. There's no reason to hoard. These foods come with shelf life and they can expire on your hands.
Sure.
So I have the CBN Governor, Dr. Yemi Cardoso, yesterday has listed overseas education by Nigerians, healthcare and personal travel allowances as some of the factors that's straining foreign exchange right now. He said that, according to him, $40 billion was spent on foreign education and medical tourism by Nigerians in 10 years. And then he said that the exchange rate is determined by the dynamics of supply and demand for product or service, similar to pricing cars or cows. He says that the value of dollar in Nigeria is determined by the balance of dollars entering the country and the demand for the dollars among Nigerians. He says that the growing number of Nigerians studying abroad is a major contributor to the forex scarcity. He said in the 1980s and 90s, the need for US dollars for living expenses was minimal. However, data is showing that, okay, so he says we had the Nigerian students in 1998, we had 15,000 and over 71,000 in 2015. It says by 2018, this figure, according to the World Bank report, had reached 96,702 students. There's another report that projected the number of Nigerian students studying abroad to exceed over 100,000 by 2022. So the more of us that, travel abroad for education and need that forex for it, the more it will impact our own exchange rate. Yes. There have been conversations about hairs that were being imported being one of the reasons, but we hear now is the major reasons are education and healthcare. So men just like to throw women under the bus.
The hairs, how many can actually afford those
Our
hairs?
individual
about the hairs. It's about them sending their children abroad and the healthcare they go for.
Our individual
and the
taste collectively brought us here.
We know.
school fees.
Everything foreign
Fees,
costs money.
healthcare,
Somebody is looking
and
for
just
$17,000
traveling.
to pay her school fees in America right now. So these are
Of course, it's going to
all
affect.
part of it. Anyway, I was going to take the story of the Solid Minerals Development Minister, Dele Alake, has said the era of carting away with Africa's minerals resources is over. He was unanimously elected to chair the African Mining Ministers Group under the African Mineral Strategy Group. The AMSG is a new mining pressure group established on the sidelines of the 30th edition of Investing in Africa, holding in Cape Town, South Africa. He said that Nigeria broke new grounds in the global mining industry on Monday, clinching the chairman of the newest mining pressure group in African minerals resources. He was unanimously elected, speaking, and he was saying specifically that those days of cutting away with our resources are over. The event heralded various countries in Africa. More than 15 countries have pledged support, with the least expected to grow under the Nigeria's leadership. Alake stressed that they will definitely ensure that our resources are put to proper use going forward. Moving on quickly now to The Punch. Nigerians spend $98 billion on foreign trips and education in 10 years. This one says for $98 billion. Nation says $40 billion. Figures keeps jumping, depending on the papers you pick. FG vows end to insecurity as NAF unveils attack helicopters. Killer kidnappers free slain Kwara monarch's wife. 13 suspects nabbed. Dangote will list refinery fertilizer companies. Customs seized 854 million naira vehicles, others in January, says Nigerian Customs Service. Tinubu returns, orders emergency meeting on food crisis. Naira weakens at official market, banks sell $584 million. Okay, which story are we taking?
Okay, so I have the Tinubu vows to end insecurity as the Nigerian Air Force unveils attack helicopters. So it's an induction ceremony held at the 131 Engineering Group hangar, Nigerian Air Force Base, Makurdi. The president inducted two T129 Attack Combat Helicopters and one King Air Beechcraft 360-year mobility aircraft to use by the Nigerian Air Force. He was represented by the vice president, and he said that the acquisition of these helicopters and the induction symbolize the commitment of his administration to the nation's security. The story goes on and on about how many other aircrafts have been added and how this is, of course, targeted at bringing back security. They also acknowledge that the new platform would improve the Nigerian Air Force power in the ongoing war against terrorism. I'm really hopeful now. I'm hoping that, it also reduces the banditry and kidnapping.
Yes, so I have a story. I don't know if you remember, 1st of February in Kwara State, the assassination of Olukoro of Koro Kingdom, the Oba Olusegun Aremuko. He was gruesomely murdered in his palace, and then his wife, the Olori Iyabo Aremu, was abducted alongside her maid. They said when this happened, the police started, in the course of their investigation, quickly approved the deployment of police chopper for aerial surveillance, and that it went around to comb the forest between Kwara and Ekiti State. This investigation was a joint operation between the police, military, DSS, vigilante, and hunters. They tirelessly combed this forest, and it yielded positive results. So the Olori and her maid were rescued on the 5th of February because of this proper investigation, and that 13 suspects were also arrested by the police in the course of this investigation. They would now further question them, to find out, more details concerning this. So on the one hand, it brought about the death and the murder of the Oba, but thankfully, at least on the other hand, the Olori is safe and she is back home with her family in safely.
Okay, let's go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.